non-monogamy. I can talk to anybody I want. He can talk to anybody he wants. I don't care. No, I don't.
Hello teacups. Other than Chantal's temper, what's brewing? So as you are probably aware, the last day has been a little bit busy. In fact, let's take a little look. Since 20 hours ago, according to my subscription list, Foodie has uploaded Get Ready With Me, Spend Some Time With Me, My Heart Hurts, Dinner, Ugh, Hey with 4 Ys, Hamburger Eyes emoji, and Beezin. Yes, she's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 live streams over the last 20 hours. Man, what a time to be alive. Okay, we're not sitting here and doing all these. You'll be relieved to know. I've cut down the content to about, I think it's just under 30 minutes. I'm mainly taking my content from the Hay live. Actually, did I have dinner? Maybe not. I think maybe the Hay and the Hamburger Eyes, I've got a very short amount. It mainly explains itself, but I'm going to start with just a little bit of earlier in the dinner live, because let's face it, there's only one event anyone's interested in at this moment, and that's the Fall of Dawn. I'm just started the dinner edit a little bit earlier than that, so you can kind of get the run up, and we'll talk a bit about it, and then we'll get into the main event, as it were. And let's just pray at this point she's passed out from all the edibles and she doesn't upload while I'm trying to edit and upload this.
I feel like I'm being lied to. But I don't want to say that and then overreact and then you guys think bad, which you already do anyway.
Yeah,
so
I can't think of a good
Saturday
thing
night, I
I think about the guy.
Had a really good night. And then Sunday, he had plans like from a while ago. He told me about that his friend was like coming down and he was gonna like go to the beach with them or whatever. I didn't hear from him like all day yesterday. And then like I texted him at night and I was like, I hope you're having a good day. And he's like, thanks, I am. And then I called him like at night at like 9:30 and was like, I'm like, are you busy? He's like, yeah, I'm still just kind of with my friends. I'll call you back in 5 or 7 minutes. And then he never called me back. And then today, I was like, I'm like doing the laundry today. And then he's like, okay, thanks. But then that's it. Like I called him like 8 times. No answer.
Okay, so that's a general sort of preface to where we got to. If you remember, and I'm sure you do, recently she had a very similar situation with him where a friend, I mean, we're taking this as true, it may not have been given current events, but he said a friend turned up unexpectedly, he really wanted to spend some time with them, and so he cancelled the plans they'd had to hang out. They didn't have set plans, but she'd been hanging out a lot. The presumption was she was going that night, and she freaked the fuck out. She messaged him 20, 30 times. She sent him a breakup text message because he wasn't answering his phone. Now, he claimed he left his phone at home. I don't particularly think that's probably true. I think people tend to keep their phones on them. It could be true, though, and even if it wasn't, he had told her in advance that he was spending time with his friends. He doesn't need to be glued to his phone. And remember, they're not in a relationship. So the expectation that he would be for this hookup he's got, I think was unrealistic. Very similar situation here. She's known that he's going to be busy this weekend for a little while, and we've had just some simmering under the surface. So despite the fact that he told her he was going to be busy this weekend, we've talked about her insecurity before. Oh, okay. I fixed it. The ghost isn't coming in today. So despite the fact that he informed her in advance he was going to be busy this weekend, she's still just blowing up his phone. Also, in case you missed that little bit, she took his laundry home. That's something that came up in an earlier stream that I've cut out. She took his laundry home to do it. She doesn't do her own laundry, but she'll do his. And her excuse at the time was, we need clean sheets. The hose on his washer is broken. We need clean sheets for the sex area. And I was like, ooh, okay, you do you, but that doesn't seem like it's within the parameters of your relationship as it sounds. But you do you. And later she admits, oh no, it's his clothes. It's not sheets. It doesn't have sheets or anything in it. So Seems like it was a bit of a sucker move, but apparently she's willing to do his laundry and not her own. Okay, we are where we are. But the point is, this emotion has been simmering in her, and she doesn't do well with being, quote unquote, ignored. Now, whether she is in fact being ignored, or whether he's just busy doing the other fucking things he told her he was going to be doing, is up for question. But all of her stuff is just bubbling in her head and sort of escalating. So even before things started, she was not in a good headspace for any of this, really. Like, everything she was going to think was going to be the worst, because she tends to spiral quickly.
So unless he was out all night and sleeping all day, or I don't know, I feel like a fallback. But
you are kind of
like, I've only known him 2 months, so
yeah.
Maybe we are just, I don't know. He always has an answer for everything. He explains it, and like, am I to believe? Like, what do I do?
I do want to say, like, as I go through this react, it's going to seem a little bit like I'm defending the Egyptian dude. I think the Egyptian dude is scum. Just based on what we've heard from her, I think he is incredibly toxic. I think he's incredibly manipulative. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. And I think he's used to doing it. So I don't want to defend, oh, you should be staying with him. That's not where I'm going with this. And if it sounds like that, apologies. It's just some of the stuff she does. I'm like, what? I'm not surprised. Like, he has an explanation. Well, of course he does. If he's a continual liar, he's going to have these explanations prepared. And the fact that he has them immediately and that they don't ring true should have been, oh, what's that word? A red flag? I feel like we've heard that word recently. Red flag, yes?
And then Pete says I'm overreacting, but...
This is one situation where Pete is 100% in the right, and I will give him that credit. This was a lot of overreaction, given what the knowledge she currently had in this moment. He just didn't answer you.
He's not emotionally available. Exactly.
He doesn't need to be for a hookup.
So you know what? I should just drop off the clothes and find someone else. Fuck it.
So this is strong woman Chantal. And I will also say, there's a feminist part in me that's like, yeah, fuck him. If she was going to follow through with any of that, I'd be like, yeah, no, with you, yeah. But it's Chantal, and she's a complicated little flower, you know? So, yeah.
Right? I'm embarrassed to admit, like, I have feelings a little bit.
You
I don't know if
seem
it's for
embarrassed.
him, because he's not really my type, and...
This whole conversation is bizarre to me, because she has been not only giving but leading this narrative of I don't want anything, and we are going to get into it later, so I'm not going to actually, let's just move on, because I'm going to get stuck in this pretty quickly, but we will discuss it a bit more later as things escalate.
He's too obsessed with his own wiener. Like, he's too proud of it.
You've been pretty obsessed with it.
A man like that who likes women that much is, you know, hard to understand, hard to believe they never cheat.
This is leading into a discussion about, if you were not aware, supposedly his dick pic appeared on Kiwi Farms. The story is somebody catfished him and got him to send her a photo and then posted it. Whether it's him or not, in terms of the picture, is up for discussion here, but that's where things started. People were giving her that information.
Sounds like he sees a relationship as a booty call, but you're more serious. Yeah!
Even though she said she's not.
Thank you at home with Melissa. What is... I don't know. I don't get it. No, it's not his D then if it's a pencil. It can't be.
That's what this is referring to.
I know where to find it. I was asking if she wanted me to obtain for her. Oh, yes, Marissa. Can you send it to me?
So here, Marissa says, I know where to find it. So are we now confirming that Marissa is the one that trawls all the forums for the information? Just maybe.
Alright, I'll tell you if it's him or not. No, I shouldn't admit if it's him or not, because then that's...
We're a bit late for that, but go on.
You deserve better. He's not my boyfriend.
She's still saying he's not my boyfriend, so why the absolute carnage over the next 11 hours, I'm not sure. But apparently in this moment, oh, he's not my boyfriend.
Alright, I hear my message. It is not him! That is not his dick. People are fucking with your brain. I hope you know that. You're listening to these weirdos. It's not true.
So now it's all very fun. Oh, well, that's not him. And so long as it's not him, she can sit here and make fun of the people who watch her stuff and are like, what? Now, I do think catfishing the dude to get his nudes was a little bit far, maybe. But at the same time, like, it's all fun and games right now. But oh, how the tides turn.
None of that's true.
We're
oh
crazy,
my God, they
you
have
know?
too many
Like,
stupid theories. You guys believe
it's not
these
true.
people? These
It's not
people are full of
true.
shit. Farms is full of shit. They don't have the right information on like anything. L. Ryan. What DMs?
I feel like we should have a big organ behind. Dun, 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 dun. What DMs indeed?
It's not him.
Look how smug. Look at it. It's not him. No, I'll read anything you want. It's not him. No. I knew he wouldn't. It's not him.
Actually, send them. I'll know by his texting how he talks. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So here's the scoop.
Her internet goes in and out here. The quality and the distortion. She was having trouble with her internet this day.
So the dick doesn't look like his dick, but the DMs I think are legit. Unfortunately. He told me, I think he knew he was in trouble because he told me,
Hasn't
are the
quite
DMs
sunk
the
in
same
yet.
as the dick pic or no? Because
I haven't seen the original, shall we say, footage. I haven't seen the original post on this. I've just heard it talked about. But right now, this hasn't sunk in. She's like, okay, these seem legit. And this will come through in a bit.
he didn't, that's not his dick. I'm not kidding if I showed you. Okay, so here's the thing. He told me that this woman, this girl from Gatineau or from Quebec somewhere messaged him and sent him all these new pictures. And he showed me like the pictures. And he's like, who's this? And then he said that she wanted like to fuck him or something, but he didn't reciprocate. So he's a liar. So that just confirms it.
Okay, which is a bit of a weird conversation to have, but given that her whole shtick on this has been no open relationship, and I know the little clip I put in before my intro was a bit shady, but because I was as much as I don't like to see anybody upset. This is so stupid that I was just like, what are you expecting? Based on everything you've said, what are you expecting? So, but she's been flying the flag for this idea of we are not together, he is not my boyfriend, and importantly, we are not exclusive. Even though it changed a little bit, and whether I think she mentally is in that place or not, because she's made clear indications that she wants a lot more and kind of expects a lot more, even though she's mouthing these words. He either doesn't need to explain himself because you're not together, or he does need to explain himself, and that was a weird conversation, because if you were together, like, how did this woman get his number? You know, if it is supposed to be a random, like, so he'd still be on the apps, but if you guys are together, he wouldn't be on the apps. Or if he actually text messaged the number, then he'd need the number, it wouldn't just be a messenger. There's a lot of elements to that I think she's glazed over and not thought about, because it's a pretty bad lie, but we might not have all the information, so I'll leave that be. It's starting to hit
really
her now.
pisses me off. He's like, what did he say? He said you cannot tell anyone about this conversation.
I think that was in the DMs. I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, it must have been, because he wouldn't have said it to her. Unless he was saying, like, if we're discussing this, don't put it on your internet channel, because she's done that a few times, but...
Wow, I never lie. He says he never lies.
Well, this comes up again and again, how he says what a good person he is, and he says he never lies. And I'm like, people who are actually good people and never lie don't need to clarify that so much. Their actions tend to speak louder than their words. And if someone's making a point to point it out constantly, that to me is a case of, you know, the lady does protest too much.
He never lies. He never lies. He never cheats.
Why would you believe that? Given what you know of him and how, well, he doesn't seem like an upstanding person, let's put it that way. why would you believe him? If the only reassurance you have of that is his word, why would you take him at his word?
You know what? You know what? I secretly I knew, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. I just want to go and party.
Okay, and that's fair. I'm not going to sit here and slut shame you. You wanted to go get D, you went and got D. You wanted it at all costs, you got it at all costs. But, hi, this is the price.
But it does hurt that he lied to me. It does. So, alright. Might be seeing this person right now. I don't know.
That's kind of her own mind spiraling right here. He might be seeing, like, yeah, he might be. He could be. But also, and again, if this is a bit unkind, sorry, I need breaks from her sometimes. I can't imagine he doesn't sometimes. Maybe he just wanted a weekend, and knowing how insecure she is, he didn't want to have to explain, no, I just want some time. And because she spirals. So he said, oh, I'm busy, and now she doesn't believe in it, and she's spiraling. Like, there comes a point where it's a you problem. I'm not saying he's trustworthy, I'm not saying he's not out fucking other women, but at this point, we don't have a huge amount of evidence either way, so her mind's just going.
He probably doesn't want anyone to know about this. I should just go drop his
Set
fucking
you in the
clothes.
internet.
I want to get my stuff. No, you don't. But the thing is like he lied to me. He said he didn't reciprocate anything with this person. He said he just said like, oh, like too bad, like I have a big dick and.
This does sound like he straight up just did lie to her. I mean, God, this is a horrible way to put this. Sorry, but what value was there in telling her the truth? Now, if you love and respect somebody and you're in a relationship with them, you value them enough to tell them the truth and maybe take a harder day for it. But that's not where they were. This is going to make my life harder. Let me just lie about it. Why wouldn't he do that under the circumstances? And again, I don't want to sit here pretending I'm defending him. The amount of effort she must have put into ignoring this, with the audience also telling her, dude. And I think that probably made it worse because she'll do something terrible to herself just to spite us a lot of the time. But she had every opportunity to be like, this doesn't add up. And it's just not where she chose to go. And it was a choice.
I don't know. He said something, I don't know. He made it sound like it was like he was innocent kind of. Or he was hiding something from me. And he didn't send a dick pic. And
I mean, there's no reason for him to do anything else.
He kept saying, I don't know what you want. You know what I want. Like that he wants a relationship. Oh, you guys, I feel
chose
so
not
stupid.
to.
Oh my god, I want to cry right now. I don't deserve that. Like, I really put up with a lot. Like, I really listened to him and, like, did a lot for him.
Why? He was a hookup.
Such an idiot.
Kind of. And this is like, I feel bad she's crying. At this point, I would have really liked it if she had turned off and been like, guys, I need a minute, and turned off the stream. That would have been, just give herself a few minutes, cry if she needs to, pull herself together, try and look at it a bit more clear-eyed, you know? But she didn't do that. She cried on camera, and I had a few minutes where I felt quite bad. But why are you upset when this is exactly the scenario you set up for this interaction with him? Why are you now weeping that he's essentially cheated on you when there was nothing to cheat on? And it's because for all she was saying, in her head, this was a relationship and they were going to transcend the current situation and they were going to be in love. And that's kind of sad. But it shouldn't have happened, but it's kind of sad. Like, turn off the stream at this point, man. Give yourself a minute. Turn the stream off.
Seriously, like, listen to him, like, all night. Talk about his problems. Brought farm boy.
I mean, that seems like something a girlfriend would do, not a hookup. And if she put herself into a girlfriend role, hoping that the more she did it, the more it would make it true, then you really did set yourself up for this, because the whole time you were doing that, you were telling him it wasn't what you wanted.
Makes me feel like when I was with an abusive person before.
She uses the word abusive a lot. I'm uncomfortable with her using that word to describe their relationship. Simply because I don't think he's a good guy. I think he seems to have a lot of problematic behavior. I think he seems very manipulative. However, because this wasn't supposed to be a relationship, because she had said that she wasn't looking for that, I think the behavior expectations were set up differently. If this were happening to her in a committed relationship, something she has vehemently denied wanting, then that would be a lot worse to me. But in terms of, okay, this is an open relationship and I don't want a boyfriend and I don't want to be hassled with it, I don't think what he did was that bad. I don't think what he did was that bad. And like, maybe that's just me, but in this particular case, he sent a dick pic to another girl in a relationship that you said wasn't exclusive. So it doesn't seem that bad to me.
Not an abusive like hit, but just manipulate your feelings. Like why lie about who you are? Like why lie that you're an honest person?
Why have to say you're an honest person if you're an honest person? You don't need to define something you're showing.
You're a good person. I believed him.
No.
Fuck. Oh. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm not even kidding. I'm done. Don't tell anyone. I'm telling you, you're not allowed to tell anyone about this conversation, as if he doesn't know the internet.
I mean, he probably doesn't know how insane the internet can get around her channel and within the community, because it's a lot. But having recently been doxxed, assuming she had that conversation with him, which we never actually got confirmed, it would be naive to think that any information you did between then and now would not get out.
He doesn't only care about himself. It's obvious.
Yeah, I would agree.
I have to. I mean, I don't have a choice. I can't ever trust somebody like that that's big time lied to me like that. Like, you have to be, like, if you really want to talk to other people, but he's like, no. He's like, I can't fuck two women at once, me.
Okay. That's a dick move. Yeah, because that is a straight up lie and that's not nice. But he's not fucking two women at once that we currently know. The only evidence she has right now is that he was talking to somebody and exchanging pictures. And is that a good thing? No, but again, open relationship, and you're saying it doesn't matter. So this is a very different conversation than the one you've actually had with him. Technically, if he had gone and fucked another woman, you weren't exclusive. But in this case, based on what we know, I'm not saying what he's been doing on these empty weekends, because we don't know, and she's bound to think the worst, and I don't understand why she thinks the worst. He hasn't actually slept with anyone at this point. And the problem with how she spirals is that one thing ends up being true, and therefore every bad thing she spirals into is then true as well. And that's not actually what's happened here. There's potential for it having happened, but it's not actually what happened here.
Oh my god.
Why is she this upset over this?
He's probably meeting someone that he met on a dating app right now. Better than me.
Spiraling.
Casey, tell the truth.
I kept this in because, better than me. And isn't that just the root of all her insecurity there? The reason she gets so wild and so jealous and so possessive is the fact that really underneath all of it, she's like, no, it's an open relationship, but she's hoping on this true love winning through all, is the insecurity underneath of he, for all we see him as a toxic, manipulative cokehead, for her, she's really insecure about her body. And this comes out later as well when she's like, he's already seen my body and I don't want to have to go through that again with another person. But ultimately, I think she thinks, and it's speculation, but I think she thinks, my body is like this. Why would he be with me as a normal sized person? I think that's the major insecurity she's going through here. So when she says better than me, I think that's what the fear is playing on. And that's a real shame for her. We know she's insecure, and she seems to have been getting more confident. If there's one positive, and there weren't many positives of this entire arc, if there was one positive, it's that she seemed to like her body more, and that was a good thing. And I really didn't like that phrase.
I'm not fucking him ever again. Are you kidding?
Well,
He's a
we'll
fucking
see.
slut.
I hope not, but I got angry about this. I posted on Twitter. She just said he's a fucking slut. I'm like, excuse me, madam. Do we remember the gigolo era? When she was going to hire a prostitute and meet him in a hotel, and she was like, don't slut shame me. And I wasn't slut shaming her. I was like, hey, maybe not in a pandemic, but like when she went onto Tinder and she was like, hey, don't shame me, I'm just trying to end my dry spell. Like, I am a woman, it is my body, I fuck who I want. You get to do that. I'm never going to shame her on that. But the moment it doesn't work into her advantage, he's a fucking slut. Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously. It's not okay unless I'm doing it. Jesus.
I needed to see that because I was like, nope, he likes me. He might like me. He might like having sex with me, but
those are two different things.
He probably doesn't care like I do.
Yeah. I don't know why she cares. She keeps saying she doesn't. It's been obvious she does, but she keeps saying she doesn't. Why? What is he showing to you that makes him worthy of this depth of emotion? Especially given that you've been saying forever now that it was nothing between you.
I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot.
Kind of.
I don't know what my problem is. Do I just not care enough about myself?
A definite possibility.
Maybe. Why not, you know?
And that's a big old question that therapy would help you to unpack. I'm not necessarily saying answer. Therapy isn't necessarily an on-off switch like that. But unpacking it would be a really healthy start.
I didn't mean to dox him.
You didn't mean to, but you didn't take much care once you had, did you? You've been confirming a lot of shit.
I was really stupid.
Sorry guys, I seem to have lost a tiny bit of audio on this clip. It's a very short clip that I just left in because Jesus Christ. In a moment the audio comes back, but as she turns up and changes her position, we get a shot of the mess on the other side of the bed that she's been hiding from us for weeks. And it was a lot, and I'm gonna let this play through for a second, but I will try and put up pictures on the screen because I couldn't get a really clear screen grab on it, but it was a lot. A side note in the current drama, but just so you know. She says, let me fix my makeup, which is the point at which I think she decided she was going over there. There.
Anyways.
I'll put the pictures up. It was a lot. And the second picture of like the corner of it comes from later in the video.
Find a man with a future. Yeah. Who's gonna do my laundry? I just want to be treated like a queen.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna get that from a hookup though. It's not the intention. And if you want someone who dotes on you, which is what you seem to want, you want someone who will beg for you, kneel for you, die for you. You want someone to treat you like a queen and bow down to you while not giving them anything back. It's unrealistic. Yeah, especially given that your next answer is always, oh, and I don't want a relationship. It's possible with work you could find somebody who'd be willing to dote on you as part of a relationship, but it would need to be a give and take. You can't have all the benefits of a relationship while not being in one.
And I never find anybody who does that. He's gonna go hard to get me back. He's gonna...
In what fucking universe? He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
Try some therapy, man.
Yeah.
I don't like therapy.
You're not meant to like therapy. Therapy is hard, it's frequently upsetting, and it pokes at uncomfortable places. And if it didn't do that, it wouldn't be effective therapy. You will never like therapy. However, you may, with time and building a relationship with your therapist, just learn that being able to cope with things and unpack them feels better than everything that happens when you don't. You may feel the benefit of therapy even if you don't necessarily like it.
You think he was plugging a girl when he forgot that phone? You really think so?
I really dislike her chat a lot of the time, but when it comes to stuff like this, and this was inexplicably not members only chat, so you've got that extra layer onto things. A lot of these lives were not members only. And it just means people egg her on to do things that are probably better not done, and they just poke and poke at places. And no one needed to say to her, oh, well, I bet when he forgot his phone last weekend, he was fucking some girl. I'm sure her mind was already there. There's no need to scramble it around. But people do. And that's an excellent example as to why this would be better done with a friend. Have a girls' night, have some wine, shit talk him. This would be better done offline because they'll just shit stir in the chat.
If he did that and then calls me in the morning to come over and fuck him after a whole night of fucking someone else.
And again, just to reiterate, we have no evidence he's fucked somebody else at this point.
That's like mental. Oh my god, I used to know somebody like that. He's like the first guy I lost my virginity with. A complete fucking asshole.
Her history of romance and romantic interactions, if we can call them romantic, have always been a cause of concern, and there are some very clear kind of marker points when we're like, oh, that might explain a few things about her current view of what romance and love is. And again, therapy, because she didn't start her sexual experiences that well from the TMI stories we've heard, even though I know a lot of them are made up. A lot of the stories, made up or not, have very similar threads, which have some very concerning points in how she views sex and herself and her self-worth. So the therapy she's not ready for, it's getting more urgent.
Why didn't I see all these signs?
Because you were determined not to.
Now that I'm thinking about it, there's so many signs.
Yep. So many signs. So many, what's that word? Red flags? The word you didn't want to hear? The flags you don't want to see going through your chat? Yeah, there were a lot. You didn't see them because whenever you thought of something that was concerning, you buried it down and you said, no, I want what I want. So you didn't see a lot of them because you were blinded by this infatuation you claimed you didn't have. You refuse to listen to anyone around you, even if it is just the internet, because you classify everybody who doesn't support you as a hater, and so will do it to spite everybody, even if you don't think it's a good idea. And we are where we are. I mean, you had people shouting up and down across your entire section of the internet, even people who support you. Karate Joe was your ride and die for how many years? He's only really been the voice of dissent, as much as he was controlling and weird, since this whole thing started. And your response to that was to take your friend of many years and just be like, fuck off my channel if you're not going to support me. Yeah, there were a lot of red flags. You didn't see them because you didn't want to. And fuck anybody who tried to help you.
I feel like fucking somebody else for revenge. Honestly, I do. That's really immature and stupid.
That is really immature and stupid. And I would say even people who are perhaps more well adjusted to you don't tend to do great with rebounds. It's generally not a great idea. But the idea of revenge sex kind of implies that through this sex I will hurt the other party. Dude doesn't give a shit about you. I don't know how else to say that. None of his actions have shown him to give a single solitary shit about your feelings. So what makes you think in this open relationship that he's gonna care if you fuck some other guy?
No, I know. He'll care.
No,
He'll care. He's so jealous, always saying, oh, you're gonna go fuck your ex, or you're gonna Do you want to just have sex with my D and that's it?
We're going to talk a little bit about this later, so I won't go massively into it now. But honey, that wasn't jealousy, that was manipulation. We'll talk about it more later, but the fact that you think that he reads you like a fucking book. You're not hard to read, but he reads you like a fucking book.
And looking through my phone, and he's such a jealous person. Oh man, he's toxic.
I also left that in because if you think of all the things that she's taking as hallmarks of toxic personalities, like the jealousy, and then you think back to the texts and the trip she took to his apartment trying the door, there's a certain lack of self-awareness there.
No, cute muffins. I'm not gonna do anything to myself. We're gonna go for a drive right now.
Sounds like a great idea.
What do you think about a twisty misty? No twisty misty? Alright. I don't know if it was a different angle. Doesn't look like that's me. Like, he has a really big head.
I don't want to know.
Oh, I shared that with you. I'm just to say.
Just to say.
Let's fucking get out of here. Let's blow this popsicle stand. Go get a twisty misty. Let's go get a small twisty misty. This is really happening.
That was pretty much the sentiment I was having, where I had joked on Twitter and I was like, okay, so McDonald's breakfast mukbang, or is she going over there in the dead of night? And then she was actually like, no, let's go. And I was like, oh, really?
I did share a lot. I feel bad for that, but
I don't feel that bad because you're still sharing.
Like, you guys don't know half of it. And
we know a lot of it.
I really can't share some things. I'm not that kind of person who gets like in a fight with somebody and airs all their dirty laundry.
Christ, I'm not that kind of person. Excuse you. You have done that with every person you've ever had contact with. You have aired their dirty laundry on this channel. What the hell do you think you're on right now? Think about who you're talking to. Seriously, this is us. We have seen your channel. Who do you think you're fooling?
Not like that. I wouldn't want that done to me.
I bet you wouldn't, but you do it to everyone else.
I'm just really upset that I've been lied to a lot.
You don't actually have proof. You have proof of one lie, which technically did not go outside the limits of your relationship. So,
And, oh my god, like, my anger and just disbelief and just...
I don't know where that disbelief is coming from.
Anyways, let's go. I don't know if I want to get stuck in the line now.
Yeah, she's just driving over now, as you do.
I don't want to wait.
She's in the line for a twisty misty that she...
I don't want to wait. Alright, I'm gonna go to his house.
At this point, I think the reason she didn't want to wait was just she was so full of her emotions. If she did wait and calm down and think about it, she'd realise that this wasn't a great idea. I mean, what are you going to do when you get there if he's actually there? You know, like, well, how is that going to go? So I think she wanted to go while she still had like a full head of steam going, because otherwise she was going to think better of it.
Got the stuff. Come back. Maybe I can get another Slurpee somewhere else. It is what it is. Better to find out now than like in a year or two.
A year or two seem pretty long-term plans for a hookup.
What a liar. And now I believe he was trying to get rid of me the other day. For the first time that happened, I was like, are you trying to get rid of me? He made an excuse that, at first he was like, my mother is really sick. It was like 2 in the morning. It's like, my mother's really sick. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What happened? He's like, she passed out. So first it's she's in a coma or something like that. And then he's like, they're gonna call me in a bit. And it's gonna be a long phone call. The whole family's gonna be around. I'm gonna be talking to my mom for a long time. I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I was like, wait, did I hear him correctly the first? You're gonna talk to your mom for a long time when she's in a coma?
This apparently was not enough to start questioning this story. Now, I would argue that when somebody that you believe inexplicably you're close to gives you a story about a sick relative. You don't want to be like, you fucking liar. But in this case, like, there's some pretty big gaps in this particular story.
And then miraculously so what happened was, so I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I'm going to be talking for a long time, so I don't know, I know you would probably prefer to sleep at home. I'm like, no. I'm like, oh, but, I'm like really like high. I can't go home. And he's like, oh shit, yeah. Like I had edibles. And so.
Which, if we're going to take one shred of goodness out of this story, because this story is fucking ridiculous, at least she didn't drive home high.
So he's like, well, just if you want to sleep here then. So I was like, you want to get rid of me or something? Because he wasn't acting like himself.
Yeah,
So, and
yeah, he does.
Like, you're being stupid. You're being stupid. You saying I'm lying?
So that's very confrontational for the conversation they seem to be having, and in itself should maybe be a little bit of a trigger in your mind, being like, why is he getting so defensive over this? I've just told him I'm high, and he seems reluctant for me to be here.
Fuck you, you're saying I'm lying.
And if he's telling you, fuck you, you're saying I'm lying, I wouldn't want to be spoken to like that under those circumstances or any circumstances. Like, if he's talking to you like that, fucking slap him and get out of there. Now, obviously, I'm saying that in the height of, how dare people talk to people like that? She couldn't do those things. But the point is more, it's funny how we don't get this side of his personality. We don't hear this. We heard that he hung up on her. But these conversations apparently we're only just getting now as having happened. I wonder what else was going on she didn't tell us about.
About my mom. So then I was like, no, I mean, I'm sorry if that's true, but meanwhile I'm like, it's not true. Like an instinct. Dumb. Fucking dumb. And then he's like, so the time rolls around when he's supposed to get these long phone calls. I'm like, just go on the couch and talk to your family. Why do I need to leave? He's like, well, I'm like, he's like, it's going to be a long time. Like, we talked for like 4 or 5 hours, so.
He's so clearly trying to get rid of her under any. It's like, how did she not clog on to this? I mean, I suppose hindsight is 2020, and we've all done stupid things in love, if that's what we could term this, in the relationship she built in her head. So I suppose let's just chalk it up to that. We've all done stupid things sometimes.
You're going to be bored. I'm like, I'll sleep. So then he's like, and then he's probably thinking, oh shit, So then he's like, the time rolls around, never gets a call. I can sleep here, or do you want? I'm like, do you want privacy or what? He's like, I actually prefer to talk to my mom probably when I'm alone, actually.
Fat that she swallowed that. My God.
The time comes around. 8 in the morning comes around. Never gets a call.
I imagine he'd sent a text message to whoever was going to call him, my darling.
He's like, oh, she's on a respirator, so she can't talk. So
convenient.
So then, miraculously, the next day, she's out of the hospital and better, right?
So at that point, you didn't then accuse him of lying and have that argument? Like, what?
He must really, I'm insulted at how stupid he probably thinks I am.
Saying, I can't believe how stupid he thinks I am, kind of implies that you didn't swallow it whole. You 100% in the moment let him get away with this. Why would he think anything else? You swallowed it.
That's great.
Yeah, well, you kind of proved
so I
he
felt
was
like
right,
he wanted me
didn't
to
you?
leave or something. Like, are you gonna like fucking hook up with? And he was getting messages on his phone. I don't check his phone. I'm not, I'm not like that. Like, he's like that. Like, he wanted to check my phone, and I have nothing to hide. I've deleted like a dumbass, fucking idiot I am. I deleted my Plenty of Fish. I deleted Tinder.
For this committed hookup.
Those are like the only 2 apps I had. I deleted Plenty of Fish, deleted Tinder. I met him on Plenty of Fish, and he's pretty much met all of his girlfriends on Plenty of Fish. What does that tell you?
It tells me that dating sites are a rich pool of resources for men like him. That's what it tells me. It tells me that people who are maybe a little bit emotionally vulnerable sometimes go there, and he picks them out because he can read you like a book. That's what it tells me. It tells me he was looking for a type of woman and he got you. It just happens that dating apps sometimes make that easier. That's what it tells me.
You're a liar, and I hope you're watching right now so I can tell you that you're a fucking liar. And you'll never see this face again. On your pillow, eating hair fibers. Never.
I don't think that's a threat you think it is.
Ever. You'll never see my 10 boobs again.
But she'll remember the 10 boobs comment for the rest of her life. She'll internalize all that shit.
And down the line in the future, when I'm in an amazing relationship with somebody that I'm not going to tell you guys about.
I doubt that.
Until I'm in a relationship.
I doubt that.
Then I'll worry about it.
Worry about what? I was a little confused by that comment.
But until then, oh no, when I'm in a good relationship, then I can be like, oh, I'm so glad I saw those screenshots. I'm so glad I saw them.
I hope that happens. I doubt, considering you're not addressing any of the issues that have caused all these feelings to come to the front and all these arguments to happen. I doubt it will happen so long as you're holding on to those as responses and not learning better mechanisms to deal with your emotions. But I hope that does happen. What is that phrase? The best revenge is living a good life? Something along those lines?
You're a piece of shit. And I have somebody better now.
I don't think he's going to care. Waving your new conquest in his face. I don't think he's connected on the emotional level in such a way that anything you do after this is going to bother him one single iota.
That's how I felt with BB. Like, he was such a good person compared to everybody else.
I mean, it's a low bar, but yeah, BB seems like the best of the batch. And even Pete's, for all we say he's spineless a lot, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. Like, not a bad guy to be in a relationship with.
I don't know, like, he's just like a pathological liar or something. I don't know. Like, I don't think he, like, meant to hurt me. I just think...
Please don't start justifying this shit.
He's just a piece of crap. That's just how he is.
And also, sorry, that's just a scene change. Again, you're saying pathological liar. You're saying you don't want a relationship. You're saying your relationship is open. And what, you're insulted that he's not giving you the every detail of the other women he's pursuing? I've said before, and I'll say again in this react, I don't understand entirely, based on the facts we have, not my speculation of her mental state, but based on the fact we have, I don't understand where so much of this anger is coming from. Because essentially, she's getting exactly what she said she signed up for.
What can you guys see? Alright, you're gonna look at that for now. I'm sorry, but I can't dox him. I hope you can, like, appreciate that, but I cannot dox him.
Oh. Oh, I hope you can appreciate what a saint I am after having doxed him and filmed the route from his house and let everybody know that, you know, he likes to sleep with the door unlocked, and confirmed the DMs, which apparently contained his whole name, I don't know, and, you know, shown his name and drawn our sex positions. I can't dox him. Appreciate my sainthood. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, guys, I'm almost here. Oh my god, I'm so fucking nervous. I hope he's not there with a bunch of people.
I love that the nerves are really kicking in now. Like, it's all right to go, like, striding out full of piss and vinegar, but when you actually show up at his house, like, I asked this last time she was at the side of the road because he hadn't texted her back. Like, what's your game plan here? If he's there, what are you going to say? If he's there alone, what are you going to say? If he's there with someone else, what are you going to do? She doesn't seem to have thought that far ahead, other than I'm going to show up and he's going to be devastated, which again, in terms of the emotional connection you're imagining he has to this, I don't think is going to happen. But this didn't seem to occur to her until right the fuck now.
If he's there with a bunch of people, I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
Oh, a bit late for that.
Drop it. It's very heavy though. What if I fall?
Then you're gonna make a fool of yourself.
Oh my god, I can't do it, guys.
Oh, and yet she doesn't turn around.
Huh.
Doesn't rethink it.
This house is dark, but his apartment isn't. Alright, I'll be right back. Oh. Clothes are dropped off.
I cut this here, but can I just tell you, she was gone a very, very short time. I don't think she knocked that door. I think she completely lost her confidence at this point. Like, all the anger was just like, shit, I'm actually here. Because she must have fucking run as much as she's capable with those clothes, dropped them at the front and ran back. Like, there's no way she made any serious attempt to see if anyone was home.
Now let me just get out of here.
Run! Start the getaway car.
I don't think he's home.
I don't think. She hasn't checked. She just like, run for it. I've thought better of this idea. Slightly late, but I've thought better of it.
Now I realize if I were to go back to him, how stupid I would look, so.
Let's keep that clip, shall we? Because I'm not 1,000% convinced. I hope this is the end of the era. There's lots and lots of reasons before and after this, and I was like, please cut him out of your life. But let's just keep that little sound clip, shall we? Just in case.
But he'll probably say, since he doesn't appear to be home, that he's like, he left his phone. But you know what? It doesn't matter what the excuses are for today.
That's true.
Because he's a fucking liar. Like, he lied to me. Like, those DMs prove it.
Okay. Perhaps he is. If they are correct, and you seem to think they are, you're very convinced, then yeah, maybe he did lie. But again, did he owe you truth if you had an open relationship?
And for him to, like, not message me today, like, we're supposed to be, like...
Supposed to be what?
Anyway, I just...
Anyway, because you're not supposed to be anything. Here's my question. Yes, the DMs seem to have triggered the big event, but she was simmering this whole time. Would this have happened regardless? Would the text messages and not being answered back, something we've seen as a massive trigger for her, would that have been enough, do you think, at some point in the night for her to have been like, fuck it, I'm taking the clothes, I want to see what's going on? Because I'm kind of thinking like she might have ended up in this situation, maybe a little bit later in the night, maybe it would have taken her a little bit longer to spiral. But I'm kind of thinking that we may have ended up here sooner or later anyway.
I'm so done. Let's just not talk about it. It's over. Bye.
Okay.
Is that how you treat somebody? Like, you're stupid. Somebody who was, like, really
Over,
caring about you and did so much for you, and you treat them like shit for the possibility of getting better pussy somewhere else whenever you don't even, like, when you're getting stuff already? Oh well, then I'll just get better D, that's all. You'll never find anyone, he says, you'll never find anyone to have sex with you like I do.
I want to know, when he said this to her, what argument were they having? Was it after the first breakup? Because again, in terms of accepting the way certain people talk to you, because my response to that would be a hearty fuck you and goodbye. I don't think she should be spoken to in that way. So what kind of language has she been taking from him? Because that sounds like they were having a fight, you know?
Whatever. Give me a break. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'll tell you right now, that's a lie. Because I've already had better sex, so you'll never find anyone. Oh, well, it's already been happened.
I think she's capable of finding someone. How successful that relationship will be until she works on herself, I don't know. But what's the phrase? There's a lid for every pot. I think there's someone out there that could be great for her. Everyone has someone, but she has said repeatedly that this sex is the best she's ever had. And she's never had someone who's known so much about how to work her body and other gross details that are unfortunately burned into my brain that I will now know forever. So to then turn the narrative to, no, I've had better, I'll just get better. Really? Because that doesn't seem to be supported by video evidence.
It's already been done, bitch. Get to the DQ.
DQ will fix it.
And then I need to hamburgerize to really help with my stress and go.
Small note. Large amounts of THC can actually raise anxiety. Small amounts are shown to lower it. Large amounts can raise it. Larger amounts of cannabis, on the other hand, have been shown to lower. So what she's using is just going to make her more anxious in large doses. Not that any of it matters, because she hasn't spoken to a doctor, so she's not actually on any kind of official plan for managing stress with the use of THC. Thank you.
To bed because I'm so fucking wired right now and so annoyed. I always said, I'm like, I don't want to have anything with this person. They're not my boyfriend.
You did say that.
But it still hurts to know you've been lied to with somebody that you, like, potentially were, like, going to have something with.
There was no potential there. There was something you built in your head that you never shared with him that you then thought was going to be true because you'd convinced yourself of it. That's not the same as potential.
It was all a fucking lie. All a lie. I don't need help. I don't need help. I'm fine.
I disagree.
I dropped his shit off.
Respectfully, I disagree.
I'm good now. I'm done.
Bear in mind, she did a 4-hour live stream after this.
I know you don't believe me,
I
but
don't believe
I am.
you at all.
Don't tell me you want to be in a relationship with me over and over and over and over, and I'm the one who's fucking confusing this.
You were confusing that. You said you didn't know what you wanted. You've agreed with him on that point in many ways. I think it's kind of a dick move to be like, oh, I want you here. But did he say, I want a relationship, or did he say, I want you here? Because I feel like it's a little bit different, but I agree that in that sentiment, there is maybe a little bit more. But again, he knows exactly what you want, which means he knows how to manipulate you because your wants are very clear. They're written all over your face and all over your actions. So in terms of keeping a girl on the string, he clearly knows how to do that, which makes him a manipulative asshole. But as you seem to have made no promises to each other, there is a limit to the amount that you can blame him for that, because as toxic and manipulative as he seems to be, you made each other no promises.
I don't know who you are, Blooper. Thanks for the super chat.
Stop reading your chat while you're driving in the dark without your glasses.
And over and over and over and over. And then constantly fucking lying about, like, making me look like I'm the one doing something. Like I'm cheating with my ex,
well,
or
yeah.
I'm... Why do you care? Why are you looking through my phone when you're being a piece of shit?
Because he's being a piece of shit. I don't understand the confusion here. It's a very basic manipulative move to say, oh, rather than wait for you to accuse me, my behavior looks a bit suspect, let me confront you about something and accuse you of the things I'm doing so that you'll be on the back foot. And then you'll be so busy defending yourself, you won't think to accuse me again because you won't want to start that conversation up again. So while you're busy going, no, 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 and you'll be like, oh, is that right? You're never going to mention what the fuck he's doing again. It's not a difficult technique to identify. It's a fucked up thing to do to people, but it's an easy thing to spot. That is why he's doing that. Because it stops you from asking questions back because you're busy defending yourself.
And you're messaging.
Oh, she was about to say two-timing then in this non-committed relationship.
I can't help it. The feelings don't just go away. I'm hurt. And I feel really stupid.
Yeah, and I feel like at least this may be the wrong way to say this, but at least she realises that feeling that way is kind of stupid given the actual circumstances. This idea of I can't turn the feelings off like she was in love is a bit much.
Because he knows this. He's like, you love me, don't you? You love me. You look me right in the face. You love me.
Well, again, he seems like a dick. Hi, we've maybe mentioned this before on channel. He seems like a dick. Please get rid of him. He seems like he can play you like a fiddle You've desperately wanted love, attention, and reassurance. And whenever he wants to play with your emotions, he plays with it. We've had so many examples, and you're saying you know this now. So why are you asking this question?
It's like I'm not blocking his number just to see if he will try to reach out.
And this bullshit. Ugh. She's not blocking his number. And she doesn't block his number. And she talks, again, in the next live stream, she talks about how she should. And as far as I'm aware, to date, she hasn't yet. Because, again, she's reading too much into his feelings, but she wants an explanation. She wants to be able to hurt him. She wants to have the argument and to prove that she's right and he's being a dick. And he's never going to give her that emotional fulfillment because he just doesn't care enough. So all keeping his number open is going to do is fulfill the hope that's still, I think, just smouldering, tiny little flame inside her saying he's going to beg me to come back. And whether it leads to something vicious and I'm going to say no, or whether it leads to her doing a get ready with me and heading back to his place, we don't know yet. But she wants the power of that. And it's possible he'll give it to her because he knows it's just the way to string her back in. Because even now, she ain't cutting the cord. And if he treated her the way he seems to have treated her for this long, and she's had this many tantrums and she's come crawling back, there's no reason to think she won't do it again.
Just gonna be honest, like it's really hard to block his number.
It's not.
Like it's gonna be hard to do that.
It's really not.
Oh god. What have I learned from this?
Nothing.
Thanks for the super chat. Oh, I'm still processing everything. I guess that I don't know. Like I think I learned that I have to really do some deep, intense self-reflection on everything that happened and process it and really evaluate my choices. Like why?
These are all really good words, which is why she's picked them. You know when you write a CV and you pick all the buzzwords you can to kind of cover up the fact that you don't really have much experience in this and you're not sure what you're saying? I see it a lot with teaching. When I have interviewed people, and you can tell very clearly on CVs, like when they're saying, I do this and here's an example of how I've done this in the classroom and what I think of this and this is what I like to do. And it's a great CV. And when you get people who are just cramming in every good educational word and you say, okay, could you give me an example of when you've done this? You say you're an avant-garde educator. Could you give me an example of something in the classroom that shows this? And they just freeze. They freeze because it sounded good, but they don't know what it means. This is what I feel like this is. And this is where the professional help to do so would be extremely useful. And I know we go back to the therapy again and again and again, but I don't think she really understands what any of these terms would mean for her practically. And it would be great if she could get somebody trained in this to help give us some practical guidance.
I'm not even mad at the people for catfishing him. You know why? Because it doesn't matter if he still did what he did.
That's
you know?
right.
So that's like whenever I tested BB, he passed flying colors. No, I'm in love with somebody. Sorry, that was it. Whenever I got my friend to message him to test him, which is immature, and this was like years ago.
There is so much to unpack in that, like the testing of her boyfriends, the making her friends message them. Like, I don't care if you were young, and bear in mind, like the relationship with BB lasted 7 or 8 years. She's 37. And it's been, what, a year since their relationship? So you're still talking your late 20s. You're not talking I was 16 and I was jealous. You were still a grown adult, yeah? But this idea of testing everybody from a person who has confirmed she cheated on these people. Maybe if she'd stopped cheating on her long-term relationships, maybe she'd feel less secure about other people not cheating on her. But she knows it can happen because she does it. So who the hell is she to test anyone? And why are you testing them? Whore, that's not something you should do to your partner. Anyway, this is pretty much the end of my coverage of this one. I don't have very much more, guys, just a few more minutes. So she does have a very short live where she text messaged him. So I'll just include that. But the 4-hour live, I'll just summarize verbally, I think.
So guess who messaged me?
Let me think.
Hi, Danielle. No, Dom.
What a shock.
I messaged him on Messenger with the screenshot.
She told us between her live cutting out and coming back at one point that she'd done that, and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't think you can get.
This was in the midst of her rage.
He gets like MMS messages, like picture messages on his phone. I sent him the screenshot and I told him he's fucking. So and then he just replied with, "I told you about that." I said, "Yeah, but you didn't say you invited this person to come over and fuck you."
Clearly he cares.
I said after everything I've like done for you, and all I ever did was try to be like caring for you.
You betrayed me in this open relationship. Like, really?
And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that was maybe a little bit of shade. No, it wasn't. I wasn't shade. And I'm just like, really? So that's all I said, and then that's it. I don't know. Why did I bother? Because I'm mad. Like, I don't know. I just want to make sense of it, and I just want to, he's this guy. Oh, Savage, if you only knew. Fuck. I didn't block him. I should, right?
Yeah, you should. Please do. Yes, you should.
Yeah, I want to have my say, Marissa. I don't want to just... I want him to know, like, how much, you know?
Of course you do.
I know. I should block him right now.
Yeah, you should. Okay, that's the last of the footage. I'm not going to go through the whole 4 hours verbally. There's just a couple of things. But yeah, she won't block him because she wants her say. She wants to either see him hurting for the lack of her, or she wants to hurt him in some way. And she's not going to get either from him. So really, all the unblocked number does is keep the possibility open of her going back. Now, right now, in the midst of her feelings, she's saying, no, it's not going to happen. But we've seen those feelings turn before. And let's just go into... So her last live beezing, without the G, sorry. She had 2 beezing lives. One had a G and one did not. It was 4 hours long, and I'm not. You guys, I'm just not. But there was nothing major in it. She still wants revenge sex, like it's going to affect his feelings at all. She's talking to some French dude, and who apparently doesn't speak much English at all. So I'm sure our fluent French queen is having no problems with communication. But she's very stuck on this idea of a rebound, which always ends well for everything. So I'm sure, you know, allowing another guy to use you will not leave you feeling any worse than you currently do. So she's determined to do that. Not a lot else happened, to be honest. Some person from her past, some friend from school, came into her chat. They spoke a bit. She apparently got modded and apparently used her full name. So, you know, that's always going to end well for anybody in Foodie's scope. And also the fact that she modded her so quickly. I'm like, wasn't half your trouble with mods is that you didn't follow up and check they were who they said they were, and you gave them this position of trust that they were not necessarily well suited for? I don't think rando old friend from school should necessarily be modded so quick. There wasn't a huge amount else to say. She's going to get high and we'll see what kind of wreckage comes from this. But it was 11 and a half hours. Guys, I wasn't about to watch this whole 4 hour thing. I've got a couple of little summary points, but that was basically it. The number's still not blocked. We don't know how tomorrow will go. She is still angry. She still feels betrayed, despite the fact that no promises were made here. And that's where we are. So thank you. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. And I will see you again next time.